Dear Venerable Sisters, Dhamma friends, today also we are going to start the question and answer session. So, not going to take much in introducing the same as yesterday. So, we'll invite Ananda to present the questions and start the session, please.
Good evening, everyone. Before we get into the questions, there are two short announcements from the organization. There is a very kind request to switch off all the mobile phones. So kindly, this is the opportunity to switch off. I don't think you want them to be reborn as a parking meter, so do switch off. Number two is a lady who has gone for a walk, hasn't signed off the register. Her name is Linda. If she is here, please. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bhante, there is a summary again this time, and there are 10 English questions and 2 questions in Sinhalese. And of the English, I have summarized them. First one is what I call the meditation fundamental. So it's on general. And then the second group, walking and sitting together, 1. And then on sitting meditation alone, 6. Other posture, 1. And then a meditation-related clarification from today's Dhamma talk. So that adds up the 10. And in Sinhalese, 1 on sitting meditation and 1 on clarification. This is the question what I call the fundamental. Dear Venerable Bhante, can you please explain why we practice mindfulness? I am a beginner and would very much appreciate your response. With gratitude.
So I have to ask why you are coming here. Because this is telling mindfulness, so you came, welcome, definitely. And you have to justify why you are coming, and then that will contain part of the answer. And generally we can say, we are, unless otherwise we introduce mindfulness, we are utterly unmindful. And therefore, it is quite uncertainty, incredible and unpredictable, ungovernable situation. So at least to understand it, and accept it. The tool what we are using is mindfulness, to be here and now. So this is kind of a general answer I can give. Otherwise, if you can see your own psychology, what makes you to come here, that will give more organic, more juicy, more sappy explanation. So if you wish, you may come out. Otherwise, you have to understand. To understand unmindfulness, we have to have a tool called mindfulness. That's what we do in this retreat.
Just also to add, today there is a handheld microphone. If anyone wants to raise a question or anything. Raise hand, yes. Raise hand, the microphone is available. If the person who raised the question, Bhante said if you want any further clarifications. If not, I'm going to the next question.
Yes.
This is a combined walking and sitting meditation. Dear Venerable Dhammajiva, my posture is sitting and walking. My primary object of meditation is anapanasati, that is sensations in the body, then walking, mindfulness of the present moment. My concern or the background to the question is...
Talk to the mic, please.
Okay. I have been practicing Mahasi since 2008, but beginning in 2012, I have started to Anapanasati. But beginning from 2012, I have started to do Anapanasati. For walking meditation, I still do it the Mahasi way. My questions are, can I use the in-out breath as an anchor instead of rising and falling? Number 2, while observing the present moment awareness, before the breath becomes distinct with effortless, sometimes the body sensation becomes dominant. Within brackets, cohesion in the front chest and abdominal area. All this is within brackets. Tick tick dot dot sensations in the abdomen. Upper right thigh. Explosion in the left chest. And bubble popping in the right leg and foot. Close brackets. My mind is then confused. Should I ignore the body sensations and continue with present moment awareness until the breath is distinct? Or should I just observe the sensations? Thank you, Bhante, with metta and gratitude.
So it is raising the question between the present moment awareness and the body sensation. Both are the same. If they both are the same, how can a question can happen? You may please repeat the last 2 sentences.
My mind is then confused. Should I ignore the body sensations and continue with present moment awareness?
So what my statement is present moment awareness and body sensation are the same. So it is not leading to any confusion. Okay, you may read, please.
Present moment awareness until the breath is distinct.
So it is within that system only breath becomes one grain or one particle. So if you are asking the question whether to look at the system or to look into the breath, that the question is very clear. Otherwise, if you are going to say the present moment awareness and the body as something confusing, it is not confusing because they are synonyms for the same thing. And that is a question, whether to look into the whole picture, the system, or one particular point, one particular pixel, one particular dot particle like breath or rising and falling, that will be a question. So I'll give you a general outlook with respect to the Satipatthana Sutta. I hope that you are fairly familiar with it, that mindfulness on the 4 foundation of mindfulness. Whenever the Buddha presenting the sitting meditation, he says go into the forest, sit under a tree, or go to a place like here that is free from sensuous desire. Aranyagatowa, rukkhamulagatowa, sunyakarakatowa, nishidati pallankang abhujitva. You sit down, cross-legged, and take a mental note of your sitting posture. Abhujitva. Abhoga is the action, that is you are getting the mental picture. You stand still and get a picture. What is it like? How do you feel? You sit down, symmetrically and relax, and if even with the closed eyes maybe, you get a mental picture. When you are walking, the same thing you can apply. What is the difference between sitting and walking, lying down, whatever may be? This abhujitva term, not much well explained, but it's a very good way to start. As far as you are mindful on the body, you are already on the path. Then you can see the whole body, the present moment awareness, and the whole sensations. Or after getting this mental configuration, then Buddha says, sato vasa sati, sato passa sati. Mindfully you do in-breath, mindfully out-breath. So you can see the whole body as such, as the beginning, as a threshold, and then you can get enter into the specific object like rising and falling, breath, touching sensation, whatever it may be. So, as far as you know you are in the present moment, that means it is verifiable with your posture, and that is there. Anything additional is a byproduct or additional value. As far as you know you are sitting, you are on the track of mindfulness. So whenever you make sure, you made sure that you are sitting and you know that you are sitting, don't worry about further. Anything come prominent, anything come along your way, take it as a sign, as a verification that you are again and again reconfirming you are sitting. Maybe the breath, maybe rising and falling, maybe your touching points, whatever it may be. So about these things are endowment of your practice, result of your practice, gain for your practice, byproduct of your practice, not a question to struggle with. Simply saying, as far as you know you are sitting, you are on the path.
Number 3, dear Bhante, I sit, watch breathing, then body pain. Should I ignore the pain? At what point should I move to relief from that pain? Much blessing.
So if you can give us what is the experience of sitting, what is the experience of breath, and what is the experience of pain, then it is very, very informative for someone to answer. So you are talking about two more important two things, the posture and the breath. Know any detail and then take the pain as the main issue. To tackle the main issue, you must add, how do you know that you are sitting? What is your experience? What is your touch? And how do you know that you are not in the body but in the breath? What is the experience? What did you experience and what is your feelings? And leaving aside both of them, when you go to the pain, with respect to the body experience and the mind, the breath experience, how do you know it's a pain? It is not a sound, it is not a thought, it's a pain. Like each and everyone has its own individual characteristics. That's the most sappy thing, juicy thing, important thing, and naturally we are skipping them. We never put that into the report, and that is the way we are escaping the reality. So please, if you wish, you may contribute. How do you know your sitting posture? How do you know you are in the breath? How do you know you are in the pain? That will be very, very organic, informative. Then we can proceed. Otherwise, please add that into the report and then we can take later.
The mic is available if anyone wants to put up the hand. Okay. Assuming that there is no willingness to come forward, so we go to the next question. Dear Bhante, my posture is sitting. My primary object of meditation is in and out breath. During the last retreat, my breath got shorter and shorter, and my whole body shook due to the intensity of the breath. With a big out breath, this stopped and I was peaceful. Even though there were thoughts and sounds, I was peaceful deep down. I was not disturbed by them. Even after the retreat, this continued every time I sit to watch the breath. I could go to that state in a shorter time. When I asked you in the last retreat, I think you advised to watch the gap between thoughts to see if it increases. Last night in Q&A session, you asked someone not to do anything and just be aware of the underlying peace. My question, is, should I be watching the gap between thoughts to see if it increases, or should I be just aware of the whole thing, i.e. big picture? Please clarify. And there is another part.
So if you have no doubt, don't mess up with it. Don't manipulate it. If you have any doubt only, if you have any uncertainty only, you have to go into the distracting thing. Maybe that instruction for a person who is, or he or she is distracted by thoughts. So when you are taking that instructions to you, you must use it in the constructive way. If you have any peace of mind, if you have confidence, if you have experience, don't worry about other minor things. Everything goes into the wholesale business, you are be aware. Whenever you entertain doubts, whenever you have no certainty, then only you have to take care about whatever may be prominent or whatever may be distracting you. Then you have to see the beginning, the middle and the end of the thing. Maybe a thought, maybe a sound, maybe a pain, maybe a in-breath and out-breath, whatever may be. So make it sure so that there won't be a hindrances in future.
There is another part. The second part is, I feel I am attached to this underlying peace as I feel very comfortable and relaxed for me. For me, I feel this peace only when I am meditating at the moment. Sometimes I forget to watch the gap as I enjoy just being there, and I feel my meditation is stuck in this state, within brackets, not progressing, for 2 years because of my attachment to it. Please explain much metta.
So this underlying peace do not have gaps. Any object, individual, the characteristic feature of the object is the beginning, the middle and the end. The underlying peace is the continuity. It is specifically different from objects as such. So it is a continuity. Just like you are looking at the horizon when you go to the beach, you are looking at the horizon, it's ever constant. But if you look at a wave, that wave has the beginning, the middle and the end. The wave happens in the very shallow area. At the horizon, nothing happens. So therefore, if you are peaceful, contented with the horizon, be there to check it whether you have any unwanted attraction, magnetizing effect. The one single tool is, whenever any other object happens, such as a thought or sound or pain or distraction, if you are hating this appearing thing, that means you love the peace. If you can just be, all the other objects also happen and go, and again you can go back to the peace-like, that means you are fairly safe, because you are not you have no any disliking for the appearing object, and they come and disappear. Again you can go back to the your norm, your peace, and therefore see whether you hate any appearing objects at that time. If it is not so, just continue with this peaceful situation.
Next one is, Dear Venerable Bhante, my posture is sitting. My primary object is in and out breath. In a good session, I experience the in and out breath as a sensation in my nose and a pause at the end of the out breath. My concern is that my attention goes easily to thoughts. I am a beginner. My question is, can I put my attention in more parts of the breath than just in and out? I notice there is a beginning, middle and end to the in-breath, the out-breath and the pause between breaths. Today I experimented focusing on all these 9 parts of the breath, and it helped hold my attention. With gratitude.
So, even you specialize on the breath, while you are continuing with the breath, so to say, a thought can happen, pain can happen, sounds can happen. So whenever such intruding thing happen, just see, while thinking happen in this particular case, occasionally can you go into the breath as your pivotal point, as your reference point. That means you can see through the thought, you can go through the thought and still feel you are breathing. In common sense, even if you are if you are in a thinking, breath is taking place. When the thinking happens, the body can't stop breathing. So while the thinking happens, it is a gate crash. It is not your invited guest, and it is just coming and distracting. And the one thing is, thought is not like a wall. It has a lot of holes, and through that you can see whether you can go to the breath. If it is possible, the momentum of the thought will be broken, and you may develop a skillfulness, see through thoughts, and going across the thought, and that is the way you are helping and facilitating the breath, and do not react as such, but try to see through the thoughts, and thoughts will be slowly disappearing.
The template for this one. It's number one. Dear Venerable Bhante, my posture is sitting. My primary object of meditation is in and out breath. I concentrate mostly on nostrils and occasionally abdomen. In a good session, I experience bodily aches. I am relatively a new yogi. I find it easier to maintain mindfulness when counting breath from 1 to 10 and then 10 to 1. My question, is this a recommended practice or should I discontinue numbering breaths? Thank you, Bhante SG.
The last question was the thoughts come and interrupting. Now body aches come and interrupting. Same thing you can apply. While body aches are there, virtually you are not away from the breath. Breath is taking place. So can you see through occasionally the aches and pains and see the breath? And it is amazing, sometimes you may observe, the aches are there, pains are there. When you see through, breath is calm and quiet. Breath is not affected by these aches and pains. So that is the way you can see through. Otherwise, this counting system also possible, it's a tool, but some masters, they say, the counting system is more effective to the wandering thoughts and thinking, daydreaming, rather than the body aches. So therefore, for both the thoughts and thinking, body aches, the art of seeing through, amidst the gap, try to see, still can I see the breath? That's a way you can cut off the momentum, and one day you will understand even the pains are there, thoughts are there, sounds are there, breath is calm and quiet. So our mind is such, it's only searching troubles. It never look into the peaceful situation. Both of them are there at a given time. It's a matter of perspective. Our mind is always searching extremes, always dealing with negative things. But that does not indicate there are objects that is peaceful, that is always present. So you have to understand the nature of the mind and see both. The thoughts are there, the breath is there. Aches are there, breath is there. When you give the same opportunity, mind is happy with this dramatic thing, eventful thing, negative naturally. But the breath is very monotonous. It's very boring. It's very tasteless. So therefore, mind is going. So understanding this, you can realize this is the nature of our mind. Always the peace is there. Always the calmness is there. Always the contentment is there. Always here and now is there. Always this present moment is there. With mind selecting the whatever may be dramatic, the Buddha gave an example. He says, when you consider the deep ocean, the whole body of water, the uppermost area has been always shaky due to the frills and waves and wind. The lowermost part is highly violating due to the big fish, Pingala, Timira, Maha Pingala, these are the terms Buddha is using, and when they are moving, water is disturbed. But the middle of the body, water, never shaken. Likewise, your mind, if you cut across, peripheral area is always troubled, always with the frills and everything. But my mind is very happy to be there. But in the center, always the peace is there. The Nibbana is there. Emancipation is there. Just like in the seesaw, when you have a chance, you're happy to sit on the furthest because it's very dramatic. But if you sit on the pivot, no much of dramatic, but the same wavelength you can feel. And that is the point. Slowly, slowly we come to the middle path. But the center is boring, monotonous, no go, not dramatic. So, knowing that two extremes are there, at the center you have the equanimous point, understanding of that very fact is a gain or a trouble, or is a question, or is an answer. That is completely different issue. Even if we are being depicted and shown and proven, this is the way, still you may accept and come back to the middle or not, 50-50. Which is inherited character or genetical character, or can we change that by training, by teaching, by inferential knowledge? No one tackles that situation. So it is highly electric. All of us have the same range, but our mind is storytelling and fantasizing, proliferating only with the extremes. Each time if you can verify the center part, it's very calm and peaceful, and how to train, how to change, how to teach the mind. Why don't you come and take a rest, contentment, here and now, and peacefulness. There you can see how much crafty, how much perverted, how much shrewd our mind is, just to avoid the center and go to the extremes and taking and making complaint one after the other. The day you understand that whole thing, the range is there, it's a matter of your selection. Natural selection is naturally for the both the ends. That is the evolution. That's the way we have evolved so much. The Buddha is telling, give equal chances, the dramatic thing, and slowly, slowly come back, and the middle you have the peace of mind. And again at the other end also there, what about coming and taking a rest? Take this peace. Be contented. It appears like very, very, very calm and quiet, but it's a very radical. It's a very electric. It's a very against the grain. So you have to give that challenge to the mind and see how it is working. There is a microphone.
That was not my question, but I just want a clarification from your answers. From what I understood, you say that we should, if we go into peaceful states, we should stick to that rather than go back to the breath. Is that correct? Did I understand correctly?
So that is the normal instructions for the beginner. Whenever you are in the peace, don't go in search of troubles. The breath also is a trouble at that time. Sound also a trouble at that time. Pain also trouble at that time. thought also trouble at that. They are always there. If you go in search, you have to lose your peacefulness and the equilibrium or equipoise mind at the beginning, because your searching itself is pushing eccentric. But one day you will understand the center also there, the trouble area also there, choicelessly be aware with the equal weight, equal value for the center as well as the ends, that assimilate enlightenment.
So, when we get into these peaceful states, can we still continue watching the breath?
Yeah. You can see sounds are there at the periphery, pains are there at the periphery, thoughts are there at the piece and bits of pieces, thoughts, and breath everywhere is there. So if you wish, you can go there and then you can get troubled. You can start storytelling, you can start proliferation, but in the center, not necessary, it is contented, inalienable and unalloyed, the center. But our mind is never happy with that. It is always asking storytelling, proliferation, and this and that fabrication. So always your natural tendency is to go to the two extremes. That is why the Buddha, the first utterance after his full enlightenment, Dveme bhikkhave anta pabbajitena na sevitabba. O monks, these are two extremes that monks, mendicants should not indulge. The extreme happiness and extreme hate situation, they are always there. But they still, by meditation and by your practice, you understand, while they are there at the peripheral level, at the center, the peace is there. So your mind is selecting, if uninstructed, it's always at the periphery level. But slowly, when you learn the art from the gross to the subtle, subtle to the subtlest, do it in not only one time, 1,001 times. And again, do it as a beginner, then you can see the peace is there all the time. But our mind naturally never goes, because mind wants to have this dramatic situation, eventful situation, and in a sense, mind is so happy with frustration. Mind is so happy with tension. Our whole willful action is to develop tension. Without will, naturally, in the center, peace is there. Very nicely the Buddha explained in the Salayatana Vibhanga Sutta, in the Majjhima Nikaya, whenever you learn all the range from the two extremes and the center, and give the same equal suspension attention, and see how nicely mind is become crafty and cheating and perverted to go to the two ends. Leaving the center, telling it is boring, telling it is monotonous, telling it is uncertain, telling it is fearful, telling it is unknown. So a lot of complaints are there. So you are very well aware and know the trouble, so you are very happy to use SMS, telephones, reading papers, television. They collect all the troubles enough for you before the sleep and after the meal. So you never sleep without that package. Here you can't sleep because you don't have the package here. No television, no talks. So you feel uncertain, you feel the outcasted life. You feel no orientation. Not you, I am telling. We in common.
Sorry to have to repeat myself, but am I hearing then that when you have the peace, you don't go to your breath? Is that correct?
Please repeat the question.
Did I hear then that if you are in a peaceful state, you just drop the breath? Or can you pick up the breath as well?
You are not concerned about the breath because involuntarily it is happening. Yourself, your ego, your desire, not necessary. It is not asking for the breath. Breath is something involuntary. Why should you mingle with this natural phenomena? It is happening. You may not be perceiving. As far as you are not perceiving, no troubles. Perception is the one asking for trouble. It is the one selecting out of this everything. You select what you see that you are, what you select indicate who you are. So let the mind to see everything without a selection. That is called choiceless awareness. That is to say, evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. Then the mind is at the full range, not selecting, not choosy. Troubles as well as the peace, consider both as equal. That is what the Buddha says in the how to maintain the mind in the 8 vicissitudes. Gain and the loss, pain and the pleasure, fame and ill fame. Wherever may be, you understand not to that unshaken way. So it is usually not human, but possible.
So in a question before this, the lady or man was saying that she or he was in a peaceful state and she has been like that for so long and she feels that she's not progressing.
She is not
progressing.
Yeah.
So why is that then?
So we have to ask his or her definition of progress. Progress means hell. You are thread passing the peace and you want to be entrepreneurship. You want to have commodities, you want to have something. So it is not progressing.
So that is a perception only. So what I'm hearing is that peace is the end result.
No, not end results. You have to understand peace is there, troubles are there. You must learn the art not to carry it away by either peace or troubles. Look at them in the choiceless way. Evenly suspended attention.
Okay, thank you, Bhante.
Then there is no tension.
Bhante, does that get to a point?
No.
Bhante, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you understand me?
I will
Because
try.
we've had this thing before.
I will try.
I can come closer if you want.
Yeah, oh yes. So otherwise Anand is responsible.
Following on from what you just said, okay, the choiceless awareness of being in the place of stillness and bliss, yeah, and in the place of troubles, okay, as you become more even-handed in accepting each of these, whatever the attention, whatever the awareness serves up on you, does that then loosen your grip and your appreciation and your giving of importance to both of those, the blissful, the juicy, the cruisy states and the trouble states, and get replaced by a sense of equanimity, leading to a tolerance of personality disintegration and personality view? So there can be a place inside in deep stillness or deep equanimity rather than the bliss states where you just feel like you're having disintegrating as a person. Your sense of who you are is disintegrating. But that's okay because you've got equanimity. Is that making sense?
You can equally say non-judgmental.
Yeah.
And non-reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And unassuming. So you have these qualities. This is the only time you are employing them. You try to be in a non-judgmental way, unassuming way, evenly suspended attention. When that happens, the troubles are no more troubles.
I'm talking to a point where it goes past being troubles to the point where you start to get a sense of disintegration of who you are.
Yeah. So your self-center is usually judgmental, usually assuming me and not me, good and the bad, gain and the loss. That's split and rule method is the technique of the vijnana or the consciousness. We told in Sri Lanka, split and rule is the British system. So when you understand, you can see how intricated, how complicated and what a kind of a system, split and rule. Your mind is the root cause. You can see the whole picture, what the America is doing, what the UK is doing. But you can't find fault with because you are the same. Your mind is always discriminating the center and the edge, and decisive, self-centered, the conceit and the desire. But still there is a benevolent, peaceful being also there, unassuming, non-judgmental, no tanha, mana, ditti or desire or conceit or any self-centered area. So things are there. Even before your birth they were there. By enlightening they are there. After your death they are there. Who are you to decide? Who are you to judge? Who appointed you as the judge? Self-appointment.
That sounds a lot like much more like equanimity than a peaceful, blissful type of state.
Yeah.
It's John Kabat-Zinn talks about it in the phrase "full catastrophe living" in his book.
Yeah, it's a thick book.
Yeah,
very thick. Yeah. Full catastrophic living. So what a wonderful action-packed film, broad screen. So if you are going to make a film and telling I am sitting for 3 hours, who is going to look at that film? But you have a fight and killing and marriages and everything. The box office and all the Nobel prizes and prizes with bells and everything will happen. So our mind is the creator, split and rule. So we make the one unit cut into two and say left and the right, good and the bad. And ultimately you get engaged. You don't know how the time is passing, you don't know how the space is happening, but there is a time, there's a possibility or perspective. Look at them as equal and not get committed, non-judgmental, unassuming. Even a split second, if you can exercise it, then you feel at that moment you are 100% living, not partial.
Is there a place, or is there a thing that happens sometimes with us where we almost like create troubles to avoid going to that place of seeing the voidness?
We are so crafty. And the one very interesting thing, an important thing, even if you are in that such a peaceful, in that non-judgmental area, if you do not know, you gain nothing, no results. Your non-judgmental nature must be verified. Then only you gain the result. The Buddha gave a very nice example. The young child, less than 6 years, they also get old. They never judgmental. They are very at peace, but they are not gaining any results because they don't know. They are non-judgmental. But we undergone this mill, we know. And after that, practicing the Buddha way, and now we come with utter conscious, utterly aware, now I am non-judgmental. Non-reaction, it's happening, you see, when it's going against the grain, it's so painful. But that is a big achievement, because you know that your verifiability, so you can't pass it to someone. No one can rob it. No one can copy it. So you see, each and every person says, meditation is good, but I am stuck. So I am very happy. Whenever someone is stuck, I am so happy. I feel so happy. I am entertaining wherever on the earth. When someone go mad in meditation, I say, good.
Oh, Bhante, I don't know whether to laugh or run away.
So therefore we are masters searching for trouble. Without tension we can't live. Tension is an essential part, and that is our family life, that is our social life, that is our creativity, that is our progress. And when there is nothing happening, boring. So Nibbana, you can say, synonym to Nibbana is boredom.
Thank you, Bhante.
Wait. So what I am telling is, the moment you be happy, be glad with the boredom, you are at Nibbana. The moment you know how to be glad with the boredom, the monotony, the uncertainty, unknown thing, This Nibbana is everywhere. Because the boredom is everywhere. Monotony is everywhere. You are not crafty to go through the boredom, you accept it. Be glad. Then who is going to challenge you?
That's very low expectations, Bhante. That's it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Dear Bhante, I think I've got a question just relating to what others asked as well, where the mind is coming to a peaceful stage. A few months ago, I had this experience where I was sitting on a chair meditating, just watching my mind like a vipassana. So after a while, I'm not too sure how long it was, I knew that I was, I didn't feel my breath, I didn't feel my body, but I was in a stage where I know I was somewhere, but there was a lot of, it's unknown place, very peaceful place. Then again, I didn't feel that I was sitting, I was home or anywhere else. It's just, there's nothing, just pure emptiness that I felt. And I also didn't know how long that I was in that stage, that I was woken up with like an electric shock went into my body from head to toe, and then I shaken up and woke up. So, but after that, I'll just reflect on it and see what it was that I never knew, and also, but it was a beautiful place. Then after about 6 weeks, when I sit down and meditate, I was having that picture in my mind, then everything got distracted. I couldn't achieve what I wanted to. So then after a while, I just completely forget about it, and then just doing my normal thing. Then, but everything comes after that is very, I feel like I'm just joyful, like thoughts coming in, thoughts going. I just try not to attach to any of the feelings or thoughts coming into. But I'm just want to get clarification of the place that I've been, just felt nothing is something, a progress of meditation, or what was that? Just.
So with respect to the tension, with respect to frustration, which one you find with the more frustration and more tension, which one you find less frustration and less tension?
I mentioned frustration because after...
I am mentioning frustration,
yeah.
You never mention. I am going to give you a tool, I am going to give you a technique. With respect to frustration, peaceful state, our thoughts and all the kinds of, which one is with less frustration and tension?
Peaceful place.
That's all the Buddha says. Whatever your progress, you have to consider with respect to the frustration, because frustration it's a norm. So whatever it is leading to less and less frustration, less and less tension, so you have to understand that is the least frictional path. This is the comfort zone. And it is within your system, but you have to isolate and verify it. Then you understand it is nothing outside, there is no formula, there is nothing lacking, it is inside, but we don't give the proper attention. We can select it. Whenever it is selected, you understand that no tension, no frustration. So next day also, lead the path which is leading to more and more, less and less frustration and the tension, and slowly you will understand ways and means. If you know that you are leading to less and less tension and frustration, there are 1,001 methods. But our day-to-day life, that is not the criteria. We are going by political aims, economical aims, social aims, fame, gain, all the kinds. It's a killer. It's a killer by frustration, by tension. But amidst of all the kind of things, there is a combination, there is a path, there is a kind of a tunnel to go. Occasionally you can go there, even then it is indicating your potential. And next time, if you wish to go there, fulfill all the courses without expecting results. That expectation of results is the one we are being trained by the present day education. Killer. Here in the audience, you have all the kind of people achieve different levels of education. All are in the same frustration. Still they are trying to go into the higher level, and higher level, higher frustration. I am not going to say you to be illiterate and ignorant and aboriginal. But I am telling, more and more you go for results, end results is the frustration. So, to cut across, to give a very radical way of answer, at the end of the out-breath, always the peace is there. But we never look at it. Our aim is never to see the end of anything. We always see the beginning of anything. The inauguration, the auspicious time, and start something. Whatever you start is frustration. So the Buddha says, see the end of the event, end of the breath, end of the falling, everything. So I got one email from one American. He is more than 100 years old, 103 years, and still he is working on the computer, and he is sending a message to we people. He says, I have lived my life, and I wasted my life for figures, my blood pressure, my sugar, my age. Nonsense. Leave it aside. If it is necessary, give it to a doctor. Mind your own breath. That's the one you are losing by all the criteria. And at the last he says, even see the end of the breath. So end of the breath is end of the frustration. So our mind is set in such a way, we jump from tip of the iceberg to tip of the iceberg. Top of the in-breath to the top of the out-breath, top of the in-breath, top of the out-breath. We never trace it back, the end of the in-breath, end of the out-breath, but many masters, they accept. The tracing of the end of the out-breath is easier than tracing of the end of the in-breath. So sit down, and of course if the breath is come face to face with, just see the end and see how much the mind becomes bewildered when the breath is disappearing. Utterly ignorant, utterly bewildered, waiting something to happen. You feel like you are cut off from the navel while you are in the womb. Or if you are familiar with the sending kites, and your thread is cut off. So you somehow or the other try to knot it again and get the control. That is the way, that is the function of the tanha, function of the desire. The Buddha says it is a seamstress, always stitching two parts together and always put together, never let you know the in-between area, the baton, passing the baton from one person to the other. So that's a posture junction. That's a place you have to be very careful, very attentive, but there's an internal negative phobia to see the end of something, the death, the night. That is something fearful. So when you are practicing yogi, you consider them also as a part and parcel of the life. The night comes, the day comes, and the death happens, the fear happens, the sickness happens. Consider it as a raw material rather than something to be avoided.
Thank you, Bhante.
The next question. Dear Bhante, my primary object during sitting is the posture. However, then breath appears and I watch it as long as it is there. After some time, the breath transforms into flux of energy that flows around the body. Even during walking, it finally ends up with the same feeling. I do feel pains in legs after about 50 minutes. My questions are, 1. Is there something that needs to be done to increase the duration of sitting other than contemplating its impermanent nature and await till it ceases to exist?
So if I am to quote today's talk, after the 50 minutes, I will say, till 50 minutes, you are having a disturbance or clear path or least frictional path. And then you have bodily pains. And if you try to see mindfulness without distraction and mindfulness with distraction, with the bodily pain, that means still through the bodily pain can you see still the flux, still the end of the out-breath or in-breath or something like that. That will give a advanced kind of a question paper, advanced kind of an experiment, how to maintain the mindfulness amidst of pain. When the pain is coming at a gate crasher, it's not an invited guest. And when it's happening, you must consider it as the next exile, next adventure, next challenge. And when it's happening, if you can, at least at the early part of your bodily pain, then you can see amidst of the pain, you can see the flux, or you can see the peaceful situation, or you can see the breath, whatever it may be. So, seen through this pain or sounds or thoughts, you have to be somewhat prepared for that. Your preparedness make the astringent, bitter taste of the bodily pain as a raw material for an experiment. So you are not no more, you are trying to push it off. You try to see how much I can maintain the same mindfulness with the early part of bodily pain. Slowly, slowly your immunity increasing. Slowly, slowly the skillfulness increasing, and then later you may understand, even a fair amount of pain still there, but still you can maintain the peace of mind, or you can be with the peace. Likewise, you are experimenting with or living with the pain, living with the sound, living with the thoughts. So it is ever increasing. So therefore, method is not to have any new formulas or new tactics. Next time when you go to the sitting, be aware that after 50 minutes, the pain happens. Without trying to push it off, whenever you try to react, whenever you try to see the pain as an enemy, your whole methods and ways go null and void. Instead, try to see, amidst of pain, how can I still maintain mindfulness or the peace of mind, or in breath and out breath, you may see the advancement or your skillfulness in time to come.
The second part of the question, Bhante, is during sitting my posture always tilt to the right side or backwards. I try to mindfully correct it when the pain is too much. Am I doing the right thing? Much merits to you, Bhante.
The tilting is something happening, or it is something doing, is not clear. Is it clear? No. So then you have to make sure, if you are unmindful, you can't understand passive action and the active action, or willful action and unwillful action. So make sure whether the tilting happen involuntarily or you do it due to your pain. Whenever that is being delimited, whatever happened, nothing to worry. Whatever happened won't going to yield any karmic forces. Whatever you do, you are committing. You have to understand to do away as much as possible, not 100% in one day, one event. Slowly, 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 then you can understand this is the natural thing. For example, when you are in a deep sleep, sometimes the body is moving. If you ever look at a child, small child sleeping, they are moving. That is not a desire of the mother or the child, that is happening. So as far as your mindfulness is sensitive, your faculties are sensitive, even these tiny things are become more amplified. Normally in the day-to-day also it may be happening, but you don't know. That very knowledge is an answer or it's a question. Just understanding my body is not ever stable, it is moving, and metabolic actions are happening. Sometimes it's forward, backward, or kind of thing happens. And see whether it is something happening, or if you are doing, simple answer is, simple advice is, don't try to do something, and if you do, you understand it. And whenever you stop doing, you see still the body is doing some kind of happening some kind of thing. That is why it says, you have no governability, you have no control, you are not the householder, you are not the executive, you are not the person feeling it. It is something happening, but it appears like a threat to your ego. It appears like a threat to your conceit. It appears like a threat your will. So you have to just surrender and see the moving body. It's a intrinsic characteristic of a living body. So this may be the sensitivity or clarity. So just let it happen without making a question out of that. You may one day understand this is what you call impermanence. That is the thing Buddha wanted to show you, impermanent, and you can see how difficult for your meditative mind to understand and accept this simple fact, simple truth. It's a profound thing. Once accepted, no more problem. So therefore, consider it as a blessing in disguise and try to put up with as much as possible. But don't torture yourself. Don't go for self-mortification. Go little by little, daily.
Venerable Bhante, just now you mentioned that when we have pain or thoughts or sound, we try to maintain mindfulness. So in the past, I don't really know how to do it, but earlier just now, after your talk, I actually used the method of placing my awareness on my breath. How should I put it? It's more like have my awareness, keep touching the breath as a method to keep maintaining mindfulness when I have pain or when my mind wander away. Is that a right way to do it?
Sounds appear, and how do you feel? Do you feel hilarious and you feel like advancing, or you feel like it's a wastage of time?
I feel like a victory because my mind was...
That's because I am also with you. So when we are teaching, I have a program called Mindful School. So I go to the school children, or sometimes they come to our center. So whenever we introduce, please sit and verify whether you are sitting or not, they find it so odd. And later they come and say, yes, I know sitting because I feel it, and by walking I know it's in the leg. And then while sitting, if you can see breath, okay, look at it. And then later some people, certain percentages, while sitting, within that I can see the pain, see the breath. And they come and say, but a few minutes time I have a pain. Then I ask, tell me, where is the pain? What is kind of a pain? It's on the right knee. And it is torturing. It's burning, it is twisting. Yes, next time when you go to this thing and be with it, and while it is happening, just look at the left knee, it is enlightened. If the right knee is painful, if you look at the left knee, it's already enlightened and laughing at, the right leg is at utter torturing. I am not. But your mind never select left leg. You are always happy with this right leg. Whatever the painful part, we have 32 parts at least you know. His hair, head hair, body hair and all that. Whatever the troublesome thing, make the story. 32 parts are at enlightenment. You don't know. So next day the girl came and reported, and she said, now Bhante, both the legs are happening in the same time. Then I told, look at the elbows. Whenever you twisted the attention, the disturbing thing become null and void. Maybe for a split second, but you learn the art. Our mind is always going from trouble to trouble. That is what you call storytelling. That is what you call the fabrication. That is what you call proliferation. And while it is there, if you know these troubles is there, just look a strategic way to the other side. They are giggling, they are laughing. Very, very entertaining, telling that part is suffering, I don't have any suffering. And your mind is always selecting the trouble, suffering. So this is what the media is. Media is going for all the time for dirty things. Collect everything and make a 5-minute reel, news reel, and give it to you. You can't sleep without that dose. So our mind is a utter media, collecting all the dirty things, all the rough things, all the fibrous things, while the sappy, very nutritious things are there, but naturally it is not going. So you are gaining nothing by meditation. Just understand shifting of the paradigm, different perspective. So therefore nothing lacking. It's a matter of reconsideration. So, but the thing is that the meditation cannot be practiced when they are in pain, when they are in a bodily pain and mental pain. So you have to select a place where no much of sickness in the mind and the body, and take little time to adjust the pivotal point, the central point, the benchmark. But when there is no trouble, we never go for meditation. We go to carnivals, we go picnics, we go all the kind of entertainment. So the Buddha says, he is just anticipating what a nice thing if a person is taking this mindfulness in the early 1/3 of your age, while still your hairs are black and all the organs are very vital and the youth is there. And if you go and understand it, the rest of the life is just a blessing, like it's just in the comfort zone. Thank you very much for your addition and the experience.
Thank you very much,
sharing.
Venerable Bhante.
Yeah, Mike is here.
Thank you, Bhante. That was my question. Regarding that correction of the posture when it's tilted, doing as well as happening, both at different times happening. So sometimes I experience that it is naturally coming back to the correct position after going through the pain, but sometimes the pain is unbearable and I correct myself willingly and most of the time mindfully as well. So if I understood your answer correctly, I should be bearing the pain and let the natural process happen, and if it is too unbearable, I shouldn't be self-torturing and correct the posture. Am I correct?
I would like to add to the second part. You are now supposed to change your posture because you know why. You know it is too much of torturing, burning. And so now after you adjusting your posture, I would like to introduce the term, you are consulting the body knowledge and ask, what should I do? The body will tell you what to do. Okay, you are stretching, for example. And again, if you can go back to the mindfulness, then you can fulfill the formula. Before the body change, before the leg movement, I was mindful. And after the body change, I was mindful. And so much so these two are confirmed, in between no defilements. It's a formula. Before seeing, if you are mindful, and after seeing, you are mindful. By seeing, you are not defiled. Before thinking, you are mindful, and after thinking also, if you can reinstall the mindfulness with your verified way, the thinking make no defilement. So likewise, you are training. The irritable, unbearable pain is your teacher. Each time either you bear it off or you can change your posture, whatever it may be, but you keep accounts, bookkeeping, and see before the changes and after changes, if you can make sure the mindfulness is intact. You learn the art how to make defilements null and void. So next day, you to do the same experiment, you should have a more excruciating kind of a pain, not a normal pain. More torturing kind of a pain. So much so the immunity, your skill is developing. The day you understand the death or pain, or the deathbed pain, next day you will be Sotapanna. The amurta is that enlightenment is going through murta. Murta means the death. So slowly we understand the truth of suffering. It's the first one. So if you are avoiding the suffering, if you are avoiding hating the suffering, you are hating the first noble truth. So you are slowly seasoning it, slowly increasing and going there. So much so it is hilarious, so much so it is an achievement. You can see other people how much they are depending on the anesthesia, how much they are depending on the balms, how much they are doing all the kind of, I don't know the English terms, whatever may be, but instant mindfulness becomes the balm. Everywhere, just like Voltaren. You apply little mindfulness and see. And it is also doing anesthetizing. And later, you won't believe, it becomes contagious. When you are living with the people all with complaints and applying and all, you also become sick. But if you are living with people with facing the life and face to face, then ultimately you also become contagious. It becomes. So even if you are not meditating, living with meditators itself is a gain. It's called good vibration. So being in a group like this, more than our family members, I don't have, never mind. So my whole life is going from retreat to retreat. So everyone happy like a friends and everyone happy like a relatives, because they are always putting up and increasing the tolerance level and fighting. And when I am listening, I find better to be here, because more than complaining, you are using your own tactics, and mindfulness is the basic, the balm you are using, and you are day by day increasing the range, not only the pain, but the thought, but the sounds, everything. You apply the same.
I have noticed, Bhante, when I meditate at home, there are other tasks in my mind after maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. When the pain comes, the message comes through my mind, you have to go to this place and so on. So I can't bear the pain as much as
you love tasks. You love torturing. The task appear very blissful at that time, to get up and go.
Yes.
But here, Ramani won't give any tasks. So you hate Ramani. Simply. You have given food and place and meditate, there's nothing to do. So no excuses. Sorry.
Thank you, Bhante.
For sorriness.
Probably we go to the next question. Venerable Sir, my posture is sitting. Primary object of meditation, anapanasati, in and out breath, watching the characteristics of the breath. Today's session, bodily experience was light and comfortable. Mental experience light and free from the 5 hindrances and minimal thoughts. After a couple of hours of sitting, I experienced Preeti, Sukha, followed by a period of peace and tranquility. This was followed by a neutral period. In addition, I felt my lower limbs, upper limbs had the sensation of particles and heat. This was followed by a period of quietness and comfort. After coming out of the meditation, there was a period of contemplation, not contentment, contemplation. Question: am I going the right way? I need some guidance. Thank you.
So whenever such a thing happens, it is for the first time, they are overwhelming type. So you don't know, by listening appear like positive and progressing, but still the same way, the doubt can appear, uncertainty can happen, and unknown area can happen. So therefore positive and negative both. The method the Buddha present for such a situation is, let it happen again and again. When it's happening again and again, you can see this particular thing also, the first time very hilarious and very overwhelming. When it's happening again and again, they become a day-to-day affair. On this peak, happiness and other things is just flat off. And there your mind is not carried away, so you can arrive at a lasting decision. So when this happens, you must understand what are the approximate factors for these things to happen, and let that factors facilitate all these factors and let it happen again and again. When it's happening, of course you can ask from the others and share and question, not deniable, that's also possible, but they are second hand. The first hand thing is, if you are lucky to take it again and again, according to the Buddhist literature, that means you have past merits. That's why you can do it again and again. Even if you have no chances to do it again and again, then it is unlucky situation. So in a residential retreat, we get this chance. Once it has happened, give the facilities, give the proximate factors again and again, and let the mind to experience it or season it, and then you can see very early first experience is rushing to a decision. But when it's happening again and again, there's no necessity for a decision. You can have evenly suspended attention and suspended decision. So you must develop the maturity to give the opportunity to happen it again and again, and not to rush to a decision. So giving this chance again and again is called fulfilling the causes. So once happen, you are better off in fulfilling causes. Once it happen, then it happened twice, 3 times, 4 times, you become more and more skillful, and that is what you have to tap your mind and give the proximate causes or facilitate it, and just let the time to decide rather than rushing to say it's good or bad.
Did you say the happiness bit was not important? Did I hear correctly, Bhante?
Some people call it happiness, other people call it torturing. You won't believe. So when we have solitude, some people call it is a very blissful situation. Other people say it's lonely, boring. Aloneness and loneliness, exactly the same, 2 names. When the loneliness becomes aloneness, good. Aloneness becomes loneliness, you have to go to a psychiatrist. So it depends. So you have to understand what is the label you are going to give it. It is free of charge. But you always adhere to one particular label, and then that indicates who you are. The happiness is a very generic term. So you have to ask that particular person circumstantially, and next time he or she may exactly say, it is torturing, it is cornering, it is outcasting me. So this is the cheating mind. I don't know which side you are.
Bhante, but when we are meditating in this situation over and over again, we do feel that sense of deep contentment, which I interpret as happiness.
So, we'll accept the contentment is good. If it is 100% happiness, when there is no contentment, contented situation, are you unhappy?
No.
Contentment is replaced by no contentment. Does your mind go to the unhappiness?
No.
So if it is not so, contentment and no contentment are equal value. That is what you call the maturity. Otherwise, if you are going to contentment is a final thing, that is what I am chasing, and when it is lacking, when it is absent, then it's a reason to be glad, unhappiness. So very difficult to express it, but there is no other way. The trial and error method, we'll try and see again and again. It's very circumstantial. Got the point?
Yes, I hear you, Bhante, but in the deep, when you are meditating and your mind is calm and your body is light, then there is a sense of happiness that you don't normally experience in everyday life, in your normal daily life.
Don't generalize it. Loneliness may be a aloneness for another person. Same experience, you give different names. Loneliness and aloneness is a very good example. Whenever you are solitude, whenever you are happy, the other person considers it as a completely cornering and boring, monotonous. So the same experience, there's one particular sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, Sagataka Vagga, one of the forest dwelling deity, or heavenly being or celestial being, complained to the Buddha. He says, Thite majjatike khale pakhisu sannivesesu sanamana braharanya bayang sanjatang. Yo, Bhante, in the midnight, even no bird sounds. There's a thundering fear. I develop kind of a unhappiness. Then the Buddha says, in the midnight, even no bird sounds, there's a thundering thing, I feel so solitude. I'm so happy. So whenever you are in the solitude, if your mind is not ready and accepting, it's a torturing. But if you are searching and you understand it's a result of my effort, you feel so happy. It's exactly the same thing. But so therefore don't judge the others by your values. Utterly you are wrong. So you have to ask from the other person the same thing. He may be giving a different values. So that is the way we are sharing other psychologies. And otherwise we will be very stereotyped, thinking my values are his values. So that is why you often marriage end up with a divorce. You expect your partner to have the same value. That is why I was unmarried. Venerable Dhammika told, don't go in search of, you will never find it. And if you find it, you find very difficult to get rid of it. He said, so we'll go to the next.
A lot of people were talking about pain and all this kind of thing, which was
the pain-wise, the commentator says, very classic example, when you become pregnant, you have to end up with your labor pain, parturition pain. If you are a prostitute, it is burning and torturing. But if you are a concubine or a king's queen, then it's a huge pleasure because you are going to give a birth to a next king. Same labor pain. For a prostitute, it's devastating. Her figure will be gone and no female will appreciate her because so she killed the child. But the queen, no. So exactly the same labor pain, the way, the value you give, the name you give, the perception you give is completely unpredictable. It's completely electric. So don't put a label, just look at it. Then you fairly get a distance from the phenomena. By labeling only, you get committed.
Venerable Bhante, I actually had my question read out, but I'd like to clarify the question. So I am a beginner with Vipassana. It's my first one. I have been a meditator in the Advaita Vedanta tradition for a long time. So what I'm experiencing is in sitting posture, when my focus is on the in and out breath, that at the end of the out breath, I'm noticing a big empty space, and I'm noticing that my mind will just wander off into all kinds of thoughts and just go on a big journey. And I've been eventually noticing I'm wandering, the mind is wandering, and come back to noticing the breath again.
Immediately or with effort?
With effort.
Uh-huh.
With effort. And so today I studied a different kind of Buddhism for a little while, where, they kind of taught you to notice that when you're breathing in, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to that. And then same when you're breathing out, there's a beginning and a middle and an end to the out breath. And then there's just the empty pause, if you like, or gap before you breathe in again. And today I thought, I'm just getting so lost in if I just go in, out breath and just look at that, I get so lost in the gap, my mind just wanders. So I thought I'm going to do the mindfulness of the middle, beginning, end on the in-breath, and the middle, beginning, end on the out-breath, and notice the beginning, middle, and end of the pause. And that really was very radical difference. It really stopped the wandering
Sorry to disturb. You are now focusing the beginning, the middle, and the end of the gap. So that is the middle path. That is what Buddha wanted us to introduce. So he says, look at the beginning, look at the in-breath, out-breath, all possible details. So you are invariably end up with end of the out-breath. And end of the out-breath at the beginning is the bewilderment. It's a kind of no control. But if you focus into that, you can see that gap itself is having beginning, the middle, and the end. So you are no more worried about the in-breath and out-breath. You are observing the gap with the full attention, the beginning, the middle, and the end. That part of your brain never used, not in this very life, even the previous lives. Now you are opening new area. It's a vast area, because you are learning nothingness, immaterial, that is departed from you all the senses. Not through the eye, ear, nose, tongue, even the mind is lost. And huge area, it's a walkover, no rivalry. Only rivalry you find in the in-breath and out-breath. Friction, decision and everything. This is a walkover. And when you go there, any person go to that place exactly the same. So you can see the Buddha there. If you wish to see the Buddha. That's the place. So any person go there, you have no femininity, no masculinity, no age, no rich, poor, no learned and unlearned. That access is there, but naturally mind never goes, unless otherwise you have directed instructions, and it's waiting till you come. And I call it rejuvenation. You are reborn, born again Buddhist. Not a born again Catholic or Christian.
Yeah. So would you say this is actually good practice for me to notice many aspects of the breath?
It is not a good practice for me, because there is no me at that time.
Yeah.
Cannot be. If me is there, you can't go there. You have to drop halfway. Then it is the frog jump into the old pond, plop. Me can't. Me is complete. It is like a camel going through the needle hole.
Yeah.
The Jesus given the simile. Me can't go through it. So you have to drop halfway. Now the momentum is carrying you. It's a walkover, no rivalry. Anytime you go there, but that dirty mind, conditioned mind, always asking some excuses and troubles and frustration and tension and storytelling and fabrication and
Yeah. I hear you, what you're saying. There is no me. However, when that realization isn't clear for me,
you are excused to use the term me.
It seems a preferable path to be mindful of many refinements in the breath for where I am at the moment, at the beginning, as a beginner.
You are not a beginner. From the Buddhist point of view, we have trod the sansaric journey for aeons of time. So we would have done it earlier. So the blinks can come up, the gist can come up. So we are the beginner from this life. But behind the screen there may be a lot of stories.
Okay. So I guess what I'm asking is maybe some confirmation or guidance.
No one can confirm. Repeat it, and if it's going to happen again and again, that's a first-hand confirmation. Because once it happened, it is easy for you to assimilate it. What are the proximate factors and how can I give? Then a person never experienced such a thing. It's always an accident. It's always an electric thing. It's always impromptu. It's always walkover. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. I'm a little bit confused.
I am very happy when you are confused. So that is the point I can put into challenge. Whenever you are confusing, you are using your trained mind, conditioned mind, the foolish mind. When you are utterly confused, you hit everything. One day there is a chance for you to hit the correct thing. The rational mind never misleading you. So I am very happy when you become bewildered, when you are confused, and still meditating. So that's a blissful thing in our human life. No, we are blessed.
Can I just ask you, so in my Vipassana sitting meditation, watching the in and out breath, do you think it's better for me to be focusing on the many, the middle, beginning, end of each section, or just the general?
There's a linear system. You just next time sit like a beginner. Try to be aware of your body. That means you are forgetting about the rest of the world. Bring the attention to the body, make sure or confirm. And then you can see within the body, in breath and out breath, rising and falling, pain, sounds and everything. And now you delimit the breath. Now you are still sharp. And when the breath happens, in-breath is not out-breath, out-breath is not the in-breath. And then in-breath, the beginning is not the middle is not the end. So you are sharpening going. So after that few stages, 5-6 stages only, I would say just specialize the end of out-breath. Don't at the beginning. At the beginning you have to understand ABCD system. Beginner's mind, just the body. And then the breath. And then the in-breath. And then the out-breath. Then the beginning, middle, end. So that kind of a gradual process is somewhat lenient. That is, we can teach. But if you are going to apply the end of the out-breath right from the beginning, you are utterly disappointed. Because you are not aligned, you are not tuned. So you have to wait to go up to that level, and there only you can play. You can be adventurous to see the end of the out-breath.
Well, today it was happening a lot. I was in that end of the out-breath, and it was very just nothing, actually. It was beautiful.
So you are just entering into the antimatter, the dark matter. You are going to the matter, with respect to the matter, you have to go to the antimatter, and then the dark matter, that's the way, the terminology they use in the quantum physics. So without matter, you can't think about the antimatter. Without the matter thing, there's no shadow. You have to study the thing, and then invariably you end up with the shadow. And the shadow is not a ghost, it is not a mystic. It's a antimatter. And when you go to the antimatter, it never limits you there, it's leading to the dark matter. Dark matter is our ignorance. And now we love our ignorance. We don't hate. And that is 70% of the phenomena. And they say the antimatter is 26% of the phenomena. Less than 5% is the matter, but you call this physical world. So you have to leave it aside, and the antimatter, and then the dark matter. So there we all are the same.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm getting a sense from hearing you speak that it's not really about getting anywhere. It's not really about getting peaceful or getting happy. It's just more about having no preference, actually. Just that's what I'm hearing tonight a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Bhante, is she talking about the Bhavanga that you spoke about?
Just a minute.
So he is so versatile in the Buddhist terms. Bhavanga, you are Australian.
But you've talked about this state before. I've talked to you about it before in previous retreats. Is this the Bhavanga that she's talking about?
So I on principle, I don't accept this Bhavanga philosophy because it is a later introduction.
Okay.
And
anyway, it's the state that counts, not the name.
Yeah, so different name, but whatever may be, with respect to the existing thing, you have to understand non-existence. With respect to the matter, only you can understand antimatter. In a general world, antimatter is a ghost, it's a mystic, it's a bad omen. So we never look at it. So that's why the Buddha to be never shown a sick person, old age, a dead body, and a hermit. Soon he see all these four signs, he got the point.
Thank
So
you,
these
Brother.
are the things hiding. In Australian cities also, the sick people cannot live on the street. Then your family members will be sued. All people should go to the house of all. And the dead body you can't bring it to home. And no monks. So therefore, the King Suddhodana's constitution is exactly what is happening in Australia. Organization is keeping all the type of thing and keep all the youngsters with the cars and everything and clean street. There, when you go there, a person like a bumpkin like me come to the Australia and see what the world. There's no sick people, no old age, no death, no monks. So you never go to the antimatter. It is being hidden. That is what you call sometimes the civilization. Sorry. So when you are living in the forest, living by yourself, and the sickness is so frequent, old age, death, and kind of thing. So the day you love it, that is the way you make an affair with the truth of suffering. We have the capacity, nothing to teach. Only thing is this perverted thinking, conditioned mind, programmed mind, look at them as very negative. So society is not happy when we are talking about them. But it's an unavoidable thing. Don't worry about the society, don't worry about the constitution. Whenever such a thing happens, if you go prepared, there are blessings in disguise.
Thank you, Bhante.
Venerable Bhante, just now the lady was talking about in breath, out breath. So I was noticing in breath and out breath, but then at some point it appeared to me that it's the same. So I saw the in and out, and then after that I saw, oh, it's the same breath. So I don't see the beginning and I don't see the end. Was that all right?
It's a good sign. At the beginning, as far as you are delimiting the in-breath and out-breath, in-breath is cooler and gushing in, out-breath is somewhat warmer, gushing out, like contrast are there. When you keep on observing, they merge each other and in-breath, out-breath appear almost the same. But you know you are in the breath, but you very difficult to know in-breath and out-breath. It's a very good sign. And when you continue to go like that, just like at the end of the out-breath, the whole breath becomes subtle and subtle and subtle. She is talking about the micro end of the in-breath, out-breath. Then if you continue, the whole in-breath and out-breath will be ceases to exist. You have to continue slowly, slowly, and ultimately you find as far as the contrast become equal and superimpose upon one upon the other, your mind is get a distance from them and they ultimately make no sense. Your perception is going further, breath is there, but minds find a kind of a equilibrium, kind of a peace, the breath ceases to exist like. Of course, if the breath is going to end, there should have a mortuary here. There should have the undertakers here. No one is dying. That becomes because your perception, the breath becomes so subtle, you can't perceive it. So this coming, appearing both in-breath and out-breath similar is a good sign. Continue to look at it like that. And then ultimately they become unperceivable. It's just like you are tracing the out-breath to the perceivable level to the, after the turning point, unperceivable level. When you go there, it's mystic-like. It's happy, but there is a possibility to see the beginning, the middle and the end of the emptiness, the gap. You may continue the same, please.
Thank you very much, Venerable Bhante.
Venerable Bhante, on this topic of the in-breath and the out-breath, while meditating, in certain times, I completely lose track of my breath. And then suddenly it dawns on me that, oh, where is my breath? And then I start looking for my breath. But when I lose track of my breath, it's a different feeling. I can't explain.
That is because as the breath disappearing, your egotistic center, egocentricness, centralness also disappearing. Your conceit disappearing. When both become equal, the desire, this is good, this is bad, disappearing. So where our mind becomes bewildered. That is what the Buddha is leading us. When such a bewilderment happened before the death, how do you work with it? At the death, definitely.
Okay.
There you are unprepared. Now you are rehearsing your death. The death of your ego, the death of your conceit, the death of your desire, and still you can, if you go prepared, you see it's a blessing. Okay. It's a fulfillment. It's a total living, rather than this partial living. So go prepared, again and again. So imagine if you are meditating in a place there is no teaching of the Buddha, there is a way out. Utter bewilderment. Even in the dispensation of Buddha, our rational mind never allow us to go there, because always it's make a complaint or fearfulness, uncertainty. So John Munns wrote a book, Fear of Freedom. Our civilization is utterly built up on the concept of fear of freedom. Whenever something new happens, we feel fearful. So we expect Nibbana in what we know. But the Buddha says categorically, the Nibbana, the liberation is not in what we know. No. With respect to the known, you have to go to the unknown. And there you have to sacrifice not only your properties or relatives and dear and near one, your egocentric nature, your conceit, your desire. So do it in a slowly, do it in a piecemeal basis. Ultimately, you never believe it's developing such a experience or such a know-how. You are ready to gamble with your life. You are ready to gamble with your life, body. But for a good cause. Not committing suicide, not doing kind of thing. But it's a kind of, epistemologically, you're committing suicide. So daily you are going little by little, coming back, again going there, coming back, again going and coming back. So hardly you can recommend to someone, because it is prescribing suicide bombing. Prabhakaran. So that's why the Buddha says it's not a joke. It's not everyone's game. So if you are ready enough, if you have enough suffering, if you have enough experience in the samsara, you may find it's a really, really adventurous, really scouting like or Girl Guide like. You go to unknown and put a camp, put a fireplace and sing and dance. Am I confusing you, or
No,
will you not get a good sleep tonight?
No, I'm clear. Thank you.
Looks like end of the discussion. The next question, Bhante, and dear Venerable Dhammajiva, my posture is working / eating / daily life activities. My primary object is mindfulness of present moment. In a good session, I am able to remain with the activity without that much experience of distracting, especially negative thoughts. My question relates to what you said last night about feelings of irritation and fault finding are being a sign of successful mindfulness practice, i.e., there is awareness, mindfulness of the irritation, etc. But in a way, couldn't it be considered that the fact that the irritation / fault finding and other defiled thoughts arose and carried on for a while was due to insufficient mindfulness?
Insufficient knowledge, theory knowledge. If you know the theory knowledge, you can go prepared. Nothing will be poisonous, nothing will be negative because you go prepared. If you go unprepared, the mindfulness appear like irritation, self-criticism, fault finding, and pedantic and kind of thing. But if you go prepared, it is no more negative. And you consider this as mileposts. You consider this as achievement. And all the frustration appear as a reason to be glad.
It's continuing. If one's practice is really progressing further, would one have less frequent or shorter experience of negative thoughts because one's mindfulness is occurring more frequently and quickly and able to catch the negative thoughts more quickly and nip it in the bud?
Yeah, that I also was waiting to give that. You can nip it at the bud level. So that is the beauty is the preparedness. If you go prepared, nothing is unbearable on this earth. Nothing is excruciating. Everything is a day-to-day unsatisfactoriness. So once you're ready to go for day-to-day unsatisfactoriness, that's a hysteric level of trauma will be reduced. But if you are going to get out of day-to-day unsatisfactoriness, once in a way you get trauma, you get hysteric level. So even the Sigmund Freud says the last achievement of the counseling and the free association is introducing the patient to accept day-to-day unsatisfactoriness. It's the biggest answer for all the questions, rather than avoiding the day-to-day unsatisfactoriness. So the science try to get rid of all the unsatisfactoriness. So once in a way you go mad, schizophrenia, bipolar, committing suicide. Either you accept the day-to-day unsatisfactoriness, so once in a way peak hysteric level. So this is nipping at the bud level can happen. So you are learning the formula, learning the circuit behind the screen, and you can see it is applicable for each and every person on the earth.
That's almost the end of the question, but last one is, could you kindly explain further how it works? Thank you very much, Bhante.
So nip at the bud level. The answer is there.
This is the last English question, number 10. Dear Bhante, in your Dhamma talk today, you mentioned a technical quote from Venerable Sariputta and then said something about if you have mindfulness before and after the mind goes off, then no defilement. Could you repeat that quote and your point? I didn't catch everything you said and don't understand the point. Thank you.
So it is the original source is Patisambhida Magga. In English it is called path of discriminations. And there is one small chapter called Balakatha that's about the powers. The power of faith, power of energy, power of mindfulness, power of concentration and power of wisdom. And the power of mindfulness It says pamade na kampatiti sati balang. I took it as a phrase in my letter heading as a logo. Pamade na kampatiti sati balang. Even if you are unmindful, main thing is not to worry. Because now you know it is unmindfulness. That's the power of mindfulness. Knowing unmindfulness is the power of mindfulness. As we discussed, knowing the unknown from the beginning, the middle and the end, that's the biggest knowledge. So these things are really giving a kind of a catalytic effect to look at the problem, look at the difficulty in a new way rather than avoiding them. Because we have the capacity to face the day-to-day unsatisfactoriness, and when you are learning, it is not a curse. It's a galvanizing effect. It is having a reinforcement and self-reliance. And each and every problem happens, you again and again reinforce the same theory, and each day is cumulative effect in your experience.
That's the end of questions in English. So we are about to start. There are 2 questions in Sinhalese. Yes.
You are almost like chasing them out.
You are very welcome to stay.
Yeah.
As I said last night, you are welcome to share the vibes.
Yeah.
අතිගරු ගුරු ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ මම දිනපතාම වාගේ සක්මන් භාවනාවේ සහ පර්යංකයේ යෙදෙමි. පර්යංකයේදී මා ආනාපාන සතිය මූලික අරමුණු කර සතිය වැඩිීමේදී කලක සිට ඊතා ඉක්මනින් ආනාපානය සියුම් තත්වයට පත්වේ. පැයක පමණ කාලයක් එක දිගට මෙහි යෙදේ. සමහර අවස්ථාවල ආනාපානය නොදැන තරමට සිහින්ව පවතී. මෙවැනි එක් අවස්ථාවකදී නොදැනී ගිය ආනාපානය වෙත සිත යොමු කර සිටින විට සිත කිඳා බැස ගිය අයුරක් දැනුනි. ඒ සමගම වාගේ කය ලෝහ පිළිමයක් ලෙස දුටු අතර මොහොතකින් ඉටිමෙන් දිය වී ගියේය. ඉන් මොහොතකට පසුව නැවත ආනාපානය මතුවී එයට සිත යොමු විය. මේ කාලය තුල සිතෙහි කලබලයක් නොවුන අතර පර්යංකයෙන් නැගිටි පසු මෙහි අර්ථය කුමක්දයි සිතූ නමුත් කිසිම අදහසක් පහළ නොවුනි. මෙහි කිසියම් අර්ථයක් හෝ වටිනාකමක් තිබේදයි පැහැදිලි කර දෙනු මැනවි. වහන්සේට නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුව පතමි.
අර්ථයට වැඩිය මෙතෙන්දී කළ යුත්තේ අර දෙවෙනි සැරේ ආනපනේ මතුනට පස්සේ නැවතත් ආධුනිකෙක් වාගේ beginners mind and මේ ආනාපානෙ මත ආයෙ භාවනා කරොත් අර වාගේම ආයෙ හිත කිමිදී ගන්නවා. ඒකට කියන්නේ හිත ලීන වෙනවයි කියලා, සංගවි ගන්නවයි කියලා. සංගවි ගත්තට පස්සේ ආයෙම ඒකම ආනාපානෙ මත කරනවා. ආයෙ ආනාපානෙ භාවනා කරොත් මගේ චක්‍ර 10ක් විතර වගේ ඒක පරියන්කයක කරගෙන ගියොත් නැවත නැවත මතුවෙන ආනාපානෙ තිබුණට වැඩිය සියුම් වෙනවා. ඒක චක්‍රයකට පස්සේ මතුවෙන ඒ වගේම නැවත නැවත මතුවෙන හිත ගිලී ගන්න ප්‍රදේශයත් කෙටි වෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒකට තියෙන අවධානය, ඒකට තියෙන සුවදකම එන්න වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා මේක මොකක්ද කියලා හොයන්න යන එකට වඩා කල යුත්තේ නම් ඒ සම්තුන් වේලාවෙන් පස්සේ ඉබේ හෝ තමන් කරන ලද කලබලයකින් නැවත ආනපානෙ මතුනට පස්සේ නැවත ආධුනික මනසක් ඇති කරන දැන් තමයි මම ඉපදුනේ, දැන් හුස්ම ගන්න ඉගෙන ගන්නවා, දැන් තමයි මම භාවනා කරන්න පටන් ගත්තේ, දැන් මම ආනපානෙත් එක්ක භාවනා කරනවා කියලා දිගට ගියොත් දිග ගමනක පටන් ගන්නවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා අනිත් දවසේ යනකොට ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න නැතුව ආනපානෙ නැවත මතු වුණොත් ඒකත් එක්ක ආධුනිකයෙක් වගේ දිගට කරගෙන යන්න දිග ගමනක් යන්න පුළුවන්.
This is the last question, Bante. අතිගරු ගුරු ස්වාමින් වහන්සේගෙන් අවසරයි. මේ භාවනාවට කෙලින්ම අදාළ නොවුනත් පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් අවශ්‍ය හේයින් ලියන්නට සිටුවෙමි. 1. ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ කලින් වැඩමුළුවකදී පැවසූ අන්දමට මා තේරුම් ගත්තේ විපස්සනාව ගොජය within brackets flux දක්වා කරන ලද අයෙක්ට පෙර කර්මඵල නොදෙන බවක්ය. මෙය මා තේරුම් ගත්තා නිවැරදිද? එය එසේනම් රහතන් වහන්සේලාට පෙර කළ යම් කිසි කර්මඵල දුන්නා කියා අසා ඇති නිසා මේ ගැන පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කෘතඥ පූර්වකව ඉල්වා සිටිමි. තවත් කොටසක් තියෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ.
රහතන් වහන්සේලාට මොනවා වුණත් රහත් වෙච්ච නැති අයට තමයි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ. රහතන් වහන්සේලාට ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ. කර්ම පටිසන් දුන්නා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. කර්ම නැති වුණා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. රහත් වෙච්ච නැති අය තමන්ගේ කර්ම මැදි රහතන් වහන්සේලාගේ කර්ම අරගෙනත් පටිසන් දෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉල්ලගෙන කනවා. බෙදා ඇදගෙන නානවා. ඒ නිසා ඒවා මුගලන් මහරහතන් වහන්සේට ඔය කර්ම පටිසන් දුන්නා. ඒ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේට කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. උන්වහන්සේ ඒත් ඕනේ නැගිටලා ගිහලා බුදුහාමුදුරන්ට වැඳලා මේ පිරුණම් පාන්න අවසර ගන්න. අපිට හිතනවා බලන්න අයියෝ මේ රහතන් වහන්සේටත් මේ අපේ මුගලන් රහතන් වහන්සේටත් ඇට හාල්ලට වෙනකම් මුන් ගැහුවනේ. ගේ අම්මලාට යකෝ කියලා ඕනින්න පටන් ගන්නවා. අර කොහෙදෝ යන්නේ එක. ඒක නිසා ඔය ආචාන් බ්‍රහ්ම නිතරම කියනවා රහත් තුනයි කියලා දැනගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනස ඊට පස්සේ ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනකන් දැනගන්න රහත් වෙලා නැහැ. ඒක නිකන් හරියට ප්‍රශ්න අහනවට තරහින් කතා කරනවා. එහෙම එක්කුත් නැහැ. අහන්න අපිට කොහේ හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තිබුණොත් අපේ තියෙන විවේකයේ වැත්තක තියදී ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි ලොකු. නිසා රහතන් වහන්සේලාට තියෙනවා. ඒතර විඳින්නෙක් නැත්තම් ඒක පුත්‍රජනස කියනවා සුඛ වේදනාවක්වත් නැහැ. අවේදිත සුඛයක් තියෙන නිවනේ. ඒ නිසා අපි ඔය දෙන නංවනම් රහතන් වහන්සේලාට ඒ මට්ටමට යන්නේ නැහැ. උන්වහන්සේලා ඒකට නංවනම් දෙන්නේ නැති වෙන්න විනිශ්චය වෙලා ඉවරයි. එහෙම නැත්නම් එහෙම මේ පාටි එකක් දාන්න මිනිසෙක් නැහැ නේ එතන. කනගාටු වෙන්න කවුරුකුත් නැහැ. ඊට සරුවච්චන් වහන්සේටත් කර්ම 12ක් පරිසම් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඔය එකක්වත් මේ සරුවච්චන් වහන්සේට විඳ ගන්න අපහසුකමක්වත් මොනවාක්වත් නැහැ. මොකද උන්වහන්සේ සබ්බේ සංඛාරා දුක්ඛා කියනක හොඳට දැකලා තියෙනවා. රහතන් මේ මොගලන් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ සාරිපුත්‍ර ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ නැතුණට පස්සේ සරුවච්චන් විවේකව ඉඳගෙන කියනවා විශාල අතු දෙකක් සහිත ගහේ අතු දෙකම කඩා වැටෙනා වගේ මට විශාල පාළුවක් දැනෙනවා කියලා. ඒකල කියනවා නමුත් මට ඒක අලුත් දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. මොකද මේ සංස්කාරයන් අනිත්‍ය බව දන්න නිසා මට ඒක ගාණක් නැහැ කියලා. කියන්න ඕන නිසා කියනවා. නමුත් ඒකෙන් පෙලෙන්නෙක් නැහැ, තැවෙන්නෙක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා කර්ම වෙන්නේ Taman ඒක බාර ගන්න ක්‍රමයට තමයි. දරු ගබක් ආවට පස්සේ වෛශ්‍යාවට ඒක මල කර්මයක්. රාජමහේසිකාවකට ඒක විශාල ආශිර්වාදයක්. එකම දේ. ඒ නිසා අපි දාන ලේබල් එක අනුව තමයි අපි දාන ලේබල් එක ඇති කවුද කියලා තමන් විනිශ්චය වෙනවා. ඒ අනුව තමයි මේකේ විඳවිල්ල හෝ මේකේ මේ ආශිර්වාදයේ මේ ආස්වාදේ ලැබෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා දාන ලේබල් එක හැටියටයි පවතින්නේ. ඒ නිසා රහත් වෙලා බලන එක තමයි මම හිතන්නේ ලේසි වැඩි.
දෙවනි ප්‍රශ්නේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ ගරු ඥානපෝනික හිමියන් ලිවූ Power of Mindfulness පොතේ අරමුණ පතුලටම කිඳා බැස බලන හැටි 3 ආකාරයකින් පැහැදිලි කර ඇත. 3 වෙනි ආකාරය වන්නේ relatedness of object to the environment. මෙය ගොජේ දකිනා කෙනෙක් යොදාගන්නේ කෙසේද? සාකච්ඡා වාරයේ ඉඩක් ලැබුණොත් මේවා පැහැදිලි කර දෙන ලෙස ඉතාමත් කරුණාවෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිමි. ඔබ වහන්සේට
ඕනේ දෙයක් පද්ධතිය බලන්නත් පුළුවන්. පද්ධතියෙන් එක කොටසක් කරන බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දෙකම බුදුජානනාංශේ අනුගමනය කරපු ක්‍රමය. එක කොටසක් කරන බලන එකට කියනවා රිඩක්ෂනිසම් කියලා. එක අංශුවක් එක රේණුවක් විතරක් කරන බෑ. නැත්නම් මුළු ගෙඩියම බලන්න. ඉතින් මේ දෙකම බැලුවොත් විතරයි අපිට එකක් අනිත් එක මාර්ගේ ප්‍රත්‍යක්ෂණය කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. සියලුම ආගම් ගත්තේ පද්ධතිය බලන එක විතරයි. රිලිජියස් කියලා කියන්නේ පද්ධතිය බලන එක. බුදුරජාණන්සේ විතරක් පද්ධතිය බලන එක ටෙස්ට් කරන්න එක අංශුවක් කරන බලන එක ගත්තා. ඕක තමයි සයන්ස් කියන්නේ. බුදුරජාණන්සේ තමයි ලෝකේ ඉන්න පළවෙනිම සයන්ටිස්ට්. මේගොල්ලෝ ඒක අරගෙන තමන්ගේව බලන වෙනකොට බාහිර දේවල් බලන්න පටන් ගත්තා. ඊට පස්සේ සයන්ස් එක නන්නත්තා. බුදුරජාණන්සේ බැලුවා ඇතුලේ තියෙන එකක්. ඒ නිසා මේ දෙකම යමක් වෙරිෆයි කරගන්න යමක් සමස්තයක් වශයෙන් අවබෝධ කරගන්න තියෙන ක්‍රම දෙකක්.
That is the end of the last question.
So he feel very sorry about no question.
Exactly. I was enjoying it.
Okay, we have taken 39 or 40 minutes extra. So this will be the end of the session, end of the day's program. So we are going to share merits with all the seen and unseen beings. So may everyone join. Those who know stanzas, traditional, may follow. Others may listen attentively, please. Ettavata changammehi sambhatam punya sampadang sabbi deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata changammehi sambhatam punya sampadang sabbi bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ettavata changammehi sambhatam punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasana. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desana. Akasattha ca bummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mang parang. Idang vo nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang vo nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang vo nyati nang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Imina punya kammene mami bal samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammene mami bal samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.